Self-esteem is like, am I capable of XYZ? And self-confidence is like trusting
that I can do that.
Yeah.
The degree at which you can do something.
One of the great ways to like have a good, healthy self-esteem is to have goals to chase. Life has so many challenges, new peaks to conquer. There's this story that my uncle used to tell me.
Okay.
And like I never used to really understand it, but like the more I think about it as an adult, I really get it now. So it's the story of a tribe in the ancient times. Welcome to the Unfiltered Podcast. I'm your host, Raf, and this is my co-host, Saheer The Engineer.
Yo.
What's good, bro?
Chilla, man. What was your earliest memory of victory? Like when you like conquered something, and then the converse of that is your earliest memory of defeat.
One of the earliest memories of victory was 8th grade, and I was like a early teen, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, 8th grade. Like, how old are you?
Yeah, 8th grade is 13.
Okay, there you go.
12, 13. Yeah.
And I joined a speech contest, like in school. There was the school-wide speech contest.
Okay.
I think it was mainly for 8 to 12th graders. Like, so 8 to 12 people, 12th graders
Sure.
would take part in this one.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was one of the younger ones of this group, you know?
Okay. Usually it's just 9th through 12th.
Right.
That's high school.
Yeah.
This one they got the 8th grade. Okay,
Right.
damn. Okay. So you were the youngling. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, exactly.
Yeah.
I was like one of the young ones in this group.
Okay.
And so a bunch of other people, signed up for this, other kids, and
Okay.
some of them were 12th graders, 11, 10, they're all older, and I was like, shit, man, I gotta really do this.
Yeah.
So I crafted this speech, and it was like, I used my dad's help. Like, my dad helped me write this whole thing. And It was about knowledge is power. I was like, what will get the principals and the teachers like all riled up?
It's true.
Knowledge is power. They'll all be like, hell yeah, this guy.
It's true. It's true.
So that's what I wrote. And, I remember like it was kind of scary to think about like, man, all these parents are going to be there, all my classmates, all the kids, fucking like everybody's going to be there, the whole community, and then the teachers, obviously faculty,
Right.
it's just like kind of frightening,
Yeah, and you're talking about some really deep shit.
Right.
Like,
As a kid, as a fucking 8th grader, I was just like, oh my god, I don't even know how to do this.
Right.
It was frightening, to be honest.
Wow.
But there was this guy who was in my sister's class, and he was in 12th grade, I think 11th or 12th. At that time. No, 12th. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So he was in 12th grade. I was in 8th grade, and this guy was good too. Like, he was like my sister's friend. He used to come over a lot, and so I know him closely.
Okay.
And I know that he's been working hard on this speech as well, and he was a cocky motherfucker, like he was just a little cocky, and he thought he would win,
He thought he was the shit.
Yeah, he thought he was the shit. So I was just like, man, this guy, I want to get him.
Yeah. Knock him off his pedestal.
Right.
Yeah.
So I used all of that and wrote like a nice speech, and then on the day, I remember going on stage, and I was just like, holy shit, and the light was on me, and I just felt like scared.
Talking into a microphone.
Right, and it was loud. It was weird, but
yeah.
But it went really good, and
nice.
I came off saying everything that I wanted to say. I didn't forget anything. I memorized the speech like crazy, practiced like nuts, and it went all perfect.
Right.
Got off stage, and then they were announcing the winners. They started with the 3rd place and the 2nd place, and I was like, and then when they were about to say 1st place, that guy who was in 12th grade, he stood up like he's gonna go on stage, like he was ready to go
preemptively.
Yeah.
That's bold.
And then they said my name, and I was like, and I got up and I walked by him.
No way. He sat back down.
Yeah.
That must have felt great.
That really did. That was like,
yeah,
man, that was character building.
Yes. Relish this.
Yes. It was like a frightening moment, and then it turned into like something like awesome.
Reward. To the highest, like
right.
No higher reward. Damn, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Dang.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
That probably must be a core memory of defeat for him. Like thinking about that now. It's crazy how like those two things could be right there, right next to each other, and you could be experiencing something totally different in the same moment someone else is experiencing.
Right.
Yeah, that to me, I feel like around sixth grade till the end of high school, those times will really like shape you out, you know, like the first real chisels into your personality, you know, the real like etches into who you're going to become, how you're going to react to like certain situations.
Absolutely.
And how you're going to, you know, regard yourself moving forward. So then defeat. What about defeat? Do you have a...
Yeah, so one of the things that comes to my mind is like a few defeats related to school. Like, so I did really well in school until like the final couple of years. You know, 11th and 12th grade was kind of like rough. I was, you know, in all honesty, I was a little distracted with, you know, things. I was a teenager, you know, I was really interested.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
I was interested in different things, and there was this pressure of going to college. Like, you're gonna go to college, so you gotta get this, you know. Like,
this is a cultural, right? It's rooted, in like, in your system in terms of education, like, and what that means, and like, if you don't come back with A's, man, it's always beef. So,
exactly. And there was like this pressure of like, you gotta like think about what college you're gonna go to, man. Like, these grades are not gonna get you there.
God, dude. And they start saying this shit at like 7th grade, man.
Right.
And it's just like, wow, like, you know, like I could totally like, you know, goof off for the better part of like the next 4 years. It's really junior year where things start like mattering.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And so
so
then I had like I had, you know, a couple of sisters who were always doing well. They were always acing everything, you know. They were like 4 years older than me, so like they had already aced it a while ago.
Yeah, they said,
like, now you still suck, you know what I mean? It's just like, fuck, bro. You gotta do this right, man.
And you're the only brother, right?
Yeah, I'm the only son, you know, like you know. So there was a bit of a pressure, you know, and I was also interested in other things, and like it just like music. Like,
I remember you saying,
and I was I had like a website that I was running, like an online community, and that stuff was way more exciting, you know. Building a brand, I made logos, and I was just like, dude, this is so much fun.
You couldn't pay me. Enough.
But I've eventually figured it out, you know, and then like I didn't really well in my SATs, and so eventually it all works out. But those were very formative like defeats, you know, really feeling down on myself.
So do you remember bringing these grades back home? And what that situation was like? What was the? Do you have any of them that you'd want to paint out for me? Like, at least any? Cause like I know what it felt like for me when like I had to get like a fucking signature or something, cause I just did terrible on this exam, and it's like, these freaking teachers, they need to see that like your parents know what you're doing, you know. It's like, God damn it, dude, like what are we doing? So do you have like, does that type of shit happen? Like, you have to
man. This one time, like, it was basically 12th grade, and it was like we were, I think, like 7 months to freedom, you know. It was like, you know, we're counting down months now. Like, yes, high school's gonna end. We're gonna go to college. You know, like, I was in that phase of like, you know, and also this was the time when the parents and teachers were like, "Yo, you just got 6 months left. You know, you gotta get these grades. You know, you gotta pass these classes.
Right.
You gotta get these, you know, exams done, and then you graduate. You know, so like they're in that, you know, they're in that mindset, and I'm also in the mindset of like, we're gonna gain freedom. You know.
Right.
So during this time, man, it was important times, but like, so one of these, what I was doing at that time, like I used to like sometimes ditch school, like just get out of school, be a truant, and with me and a few of my friends, go out and like play music. We would jam in one of my friends' houses, you know.
Wow.
There was this guy who had a drum set, and he was able to like jam anytime.
Awesome.
So we just go there and jam and play music and just have like this time of our lives, you know?
Yeah.
I did that, and then I went to school, and this was after like doing it many times. Okay.
Okay.
This one time I got caught. Like this teacher saw me. Like,
Oh,
you fucking shit. You know, like
you
saw
shouldn't
me
be out
coming
here
in,
right
you know,
now.
into the school.
Yeah, you
know?
shouldn't be out here right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, what are you doing? You know, caught me, and I was like, oh shit, you know. And then I went home. I thought he didn't do anything, you know. And my mom comes home. Oh hey, how was school today? Well, it was good, you know, like the same old stuff, you know. English was great, and then
English was great.
just made up a full story. And then my mom was like, "Oh, okay, cool, yeah. You know, this teacher called me."
Oh
no! It was the dude who caught me. You know, he called her,
Shoot.
and I was like, I knew at that moment, this is horrible. This has gone south.
Damn.
This is not going well.
This is.
She like scolded me, and you know, it was the whole thing. You know, it was the whole 9 yards of like, oh my God, you're just like screwing up your future. You're doing all this, and you know, and then there was parts of it was silent treatment, but talking to herself.
Oh
Just
God.
like, yeah, just
Oh
not
no.
gonna talk to me, but like talking to herself. Oh, what did I do with these kids?
Oh
They don't
no.
fucking get it.
That's hard.
You know?
That's very hard.
And I was just like, fuck. And then, all right, so that night passed, and then the next morning she was like a little better, and you know, it was more fine, and I felt like, oh, you know, maybe the wave has passed, you know. So I was a dumbass. And what did my dumbass do?
Oh no.
Went to school that day, and the friends are like, "Hey, you want to go jam again?"
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Of course
I
you
did
do.
the next day.
Just same
Fucking
thing.
next day, yeah. Did it again, like an idiot.
Good Lord.
And now this time, all the teachers are alert. You know, they know the story. Like these guys are leaving school, doing something, and coming back.
These
They already
hoodlums.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking idiots. Went back, did it like so stupid. Should have kept it down. But anyways, went back to school. Got caught this time. And then like, man, what was crazy is right after this was like maybe a couple of days later, during the weekend was going to be the parent-teacher meeting, the PTA thing.
Oh no.
Idiots, man. It's like
Raf.
the timing of this.
Because
is
y'all aren't
worse.
thinking. Yeah, y'all are like, it's just so. At that no at that stage in life, you got your blinders on like so crazy. As soon as you have your mindset on one thing, like consequences are so far from
it's just like
the realm of
fucking
consciousness.
rebels, man. Like,
Yeah, you just doing what the fuck you want.
yeah.
Living willfully. Like that's just how that goes. And you got to work that out of your system
Right.
one way or another.
Right.
And I think everybody does to a certain degree. Some people maybe don't, personality wise. Maybe they work through it later. But I think everybody has a sense of, I want to do what I want, you know?
Right.
And as a kid, I think you're more prone to that. But anyway, you were saying parent-teacher conference.
Yeah, man. Parent-teacher.
So that shit happened.
When that happened, our plan was when that was going to happen, we knew it was about to go down. This weekend is not going to be good for us, me and my friends, you know.
God damn, it's on a weekend?
This particular, that's how they used to do it in my school, is like, on the weekend, like they wouldn't do it on a regular school.
No, on your time. You know what I mean? Your conference shit. No. Like, no. I hated that shit too. That they would have it at like 6:30 or 7. Be like, yo, I'm not here in school at night. Like, I don't do this. This is whack. But they would have us out there. I remember that shit. Anyway, so damn, y'all were on the weekend. That sucks even more. But go ahead. Yeah.
And we knew the weekend was coming.
It was gonna be tough. This is gonna be a bad weekend. So you guys were all like, it was all in like a group. Like they addressed this as a group.
No, like to them, yeah. So to my parents, the teachers brought my parents and my friends' parents together in a room.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah, they asked, "Oh, can I talk to you for a little bit?"
Yeah, and you too. Yeah, it's like
started talking to them, and without us in the room, like make sure the kids aren't here, and they just did all the talking, and then they told him everything. Like this guy got caught with this a couple times, and then he hasn't been in class, he's been missing class, this, that, all the stuff, and. You know, all the things that I do, like to spend my time on, you know. And,
oh my God.
And then my parents came out, saw me, and was like, let's go home. And like, we're not going to talk in front of anybody else. We're going home, and you're going to get a ass whooping, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it was,
puckered up my asshole. Yeah.
yeah,
Shit.
it was a quiet drive home. But once we got home, it was
no.
so south. It was just
rained down on you.
Yeah.
Damn.
My mom was like, if you do these things, why can't you do it in secret? Like, why do you get caught? Like, not only do you do it, then you get caught doing it. What the fuck is your problem?
There's a level of shame there
Yeah.
that my kid's an idiot.
Yeah.
Because it would be one thing if your kid was like a rebel,
Right.
but like was doing his thing and like sneaking around.
Right.
It's another thing to have to deal with authority figures like talking about your kid now.
Right.
And now it reflects on you as a parent as well.
Shit. Right.
And now as a parent, you realize, like, maybe where they're coming from with that second bit. Why are you getting caught? Like, you know what I mean? All the shit you're doing. That shit is, that's
God.
funny. Like, that's like,
bad.
at that point, like, moms and dads, they're people too, And I imagine we'll be like that with our kids too, like at a certain point, there's certain understanding, like we came up, what I mean? Like learning the hard way, and we're not going to like give our kids grief more so than like, just be smarter. Like, you know what I mean? Like in all aspects of life. Like, so damn. Okay. So that was more of a defeat sort of time.
One of the defeats.
One of the defeats. Yeah. One of the earlier
It was
ones.
a bad time. Grounding and just. I had nothing to nothing to entertain me with.
Jesus, how long were you grounded?
I don't remember that. It was some time. I'm pretty sure.
It was a spell.
Yeah, it was a spell. It's like
shit.
Had to bunker down and like get focused on studies and
Yeah, try to be a better person. And
right.
Shit.
Yeah, the last few months of school, high school.
Yeah, Yeah. Oh, damn. So you did graduate and all that.
Yeah,
that was fun. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it all worked out. So what was your earliest memory of wins and defeats?
For me, the wins and defeats come a little bit later. A real win was like the Ross team one, where in 2012 I was the captain of this team,
and it was a dance team.
It was a dance team. It was like, and it was the one competition that we actually got into. It was in our backyard in LA, or in Costa Mesa, actually, and it was like the first time like I actually got to put on like a real production. It was only a 7.5 minute routine, but we had to have a whole screen in the back that coordinated with our routine. So there was this whole added, pre-production element that was very exciting. And the whole preparation, we're preparing for like the better part of, I think, 7 months to get this thing together. There's props, there's, costumes, there's choreography, nights of practice. It's always like from 8 to 11 I think that's what we did, or 9 to 11, something like that every night. And anyway, I remember being very regiment. I would never go over 11 p.m. unless like the team wanted to. But we got our first place trophy that year. And like that to me was like vindication, for like all the effort that I put in. There's so much work that I put in, even on the mix side, the music side, that a lot of the, the people that danced, like they don't even know, like, like the care that goes into just that part, which is like a cool mix to listen to, and that you just want to play. And I felt like if you wanted to listen to the music, you would want to dance to it. And if you had that kind of element to it, you'd at least be excited, even if you fuck up the routine, like it's cool to listen to. Anyway, we did great. So that was like one of those moments. I remember on stage when they announced this, I actually was throwing up in the back. I didn't have anything to eat. I remember I'd only drank Red Bull or something. Body was really dehydrated, and I'm just yakking into the bin. And then I remember one of the runners came over. I was like, y'all won. And I remember like, it was great. It was a great moment, and I was really, really happy. And my team was really, really happy. I was really proud. So yeah, that was like my first like core memory of like winning something. I've had like dance competitions that we've won in the past, like when I danced in high school. But like I didn't choreograph that. This wasn't necessarily my responsibility. I kind of just showed up. Right. And my choreographer then, Madhvyanti, shout out. As much as I loved her, like she was a great person. Like she was very, very, very strict. You did this shit wrong, you had to drop down and do 20. Like she was hard. And she so for that time, that was a formative time for me to just learn like what seriousness, you know what I mean? How to take this seriously in terms of this particular dance. and competitively. So by the time I'm a senior in college and we go to this competition, I get that first place trophy. It was like a culmination of all of that, you know. So I felt great about it. But defeat for me was freshman year of college, and that was when I got my first F, and that was in math. It was calculus, and that shit was nuts because I don't want to like take the onus off of me, because I feel like you can like somewhat teach yourself, but a teacher, you know, a good teacher makes all the difference. And this lecture hall was 300 students deep, and he was doing whatever he was doing, right, way over there, like on a chalkboard.
Yeah, I hated those.
And he's speaking inside his mouth, you know, so it's not coherent at all. And I'm looking at these symbols on the book like, bro, what do you want me to do with this number? Because this is like, the formatting's crazy, you know, to some of these equations in calculus, like, and oh my God, I remember struggling already with like in high school with like, you know, like cosine and tangent and all that bullshit. Yeah. I was just like, dude, like, what is this? Who gives a fuck? Like, what? Who's doing any of this in real life? Like, tell me what taxes are. Like, can you? And so I think I was already doomed at that point. So when I got to, you know, you get to freshman year of college, like you're super distracted. Like, this is a crazy change in your life. Like, first time I was out of the house for real. Right. And the distractions were absolutely like overwhelming. And there was no way I was gonna learn math, man. Like calculus was just way outside of my realm. So that was the first time I remember getting an F. My mom and dad, like, they were pretty understanding about it. You know, bless them. They didn't like make me feel bad about it. But I knew, like, just then, like, yeah, I'm cut out for certain things. This right here, I don't want to feel like this again, like where I'm like completely helpless, because there's other people around me that are like acing these exams, you know what I mean? So like, you're feeling away now. Right. Like, yeah, what the hell's wrong with me? Right. And it's just like, it's not necessarily that, it's just more like, remember that you seen that picture of like, there's like a bear, a fish in a bowl, a crow, a monkey, a dog, and it's like, if you judge all of these on their ability to climb a tree, right? Like, this, each one is gonna feel a certain, I don't know how that shit ended, but you can't judge, you know, all of these the same way for doing this one certain task. And like, this calculus was that tree for me. You know, I was the fish in the fishbowl. Like, it's just not working for me. So yeah, that was my first like real memory of defeat.
Yeah, and what's important in these times is like what we say to ourselves, right? Like that, like then defines how we talk to ourselves later on.
In those moments, in those moments where your ears might be ringing, you know, like where your heart might be thumping. Right. You're facing the disappointment, the defeat. Like right there in that moment is really critical. Like what you say to yourself. Right. And what you're thinking in your head.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like these formative memories like create like the experiences later on, you know?
Right.
And then because, you know, life has so many challenges, you know, there's always new challenges, new peaks, you know, new things to conquer. And we can revert to those same thoughts, those same words that we used to speak when we were children, or like how others talk to us when we were children. You know, that then impacts like the future.
100%. Yeah. That like how you see yourself, right? Like, and how you might determine your own potential in your head of what you're capable of doing. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Self-esteem. Like that's, I think like that was something I think I just really like understood maybe the past couple of days, just because we made that distinction for me between confidence and self-esteem.
Okay, yeah. Let's let's read what is the dictionary definition of self-esteem and self-confidence. Yeah, self-esteem, confidence in one's own worth or abilities, self-respect,
Mhm.
faith in oneself. Okay, and so self-confidence is a feeling of trust in one's abilities, qualities, and judgments. So like self-esteem is like, am I capable of XYZ? And self-confidence is like trusting in
That I can do that.
the
The degree at which you can do something.
yeah.
I see.
Okay.
So they are very close to
Yeah.
each other.
Mm-hmm.
But I think your self-esteem, your I guess the level of self-esteem that you exhibit for yourself is directly correlated to your experiences and the life that you lead.
Right.
Kids, I think, are inherently confident. I think they're inherently fearless. And little by little, the world chips away at your misunderstanding of control. I remember being in second grade and it was raining so hard, and when it's raining that hard, you're not supposed to line up in front of the classroom. You're supposed to go to the hall, and I couldn't find my class, and I remember crying and not knowing where to go. And I remember like I went in the rain, and I was like knocking on the door really hard, and like the teacher came and was like trying to like just calm me down and stuff, and she was like, it's all right, like, you know, if you don't meet us over there, you came here, it's okay, I'm gonna just let them know that you're here, all that kind of stuff. Or
Right.
so I'm just saying, like, those like sorts of like really early memories of, oh shit, like I thought I knew where to go and I didn't, you know. And now shit's like just topsy-turvy, you know. At that point, you're second grade, like, yeah, I just collapsed in on myself, you know. Like I didn't know what to do.
Right.
But like as you get older, you become a little bit better and better at dealing with disappointment and dealing with like, I think the disappointment part and how you react to that matters just as much, if not more, than the success.
Right.
Because life is going to be difficult.
Right.
I think it's going to feel more difficult than it feels good, even though it might be a perfect balance of the two. But I think how you respond to challenges and like how you respond to defeat,
Right.
everybody's going to go through it. Everybody's going to take that L. One way or another, you're going to find some situation that doesn't go your way. Who are you going to be the next day? Are you going to be there the next day? You know, like that's where a lot of folks, you know, like I think sink or swim.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's absolutely right. It's like what we say to ourselves, like during the wins and the losses, is like it directly impacts the self-esteem. Over here, I was just looking on this website, and it says self-esteem is the general impression you have of yourself. It's a form of self-love and how pleased you are with yourself. So it's all about self-love, and self-confidence is situation specific. Like, do you have confidence in trying this thing? And if you have self-confidence, you will more likely try something.
Right.
You know.
But see, there's another point to that, which is 8th grade, I was in the talent show, and that was the first time I ever rapped. Never had done this shit before in my life, in front of people, held a mic, and I rapped Eminem's Run Rabbit Run. And you know, it's like, you remember that record?
I remember.
It's a full verse. There's no hook to this song. This is just rapping. And this is for people who actually know Eminem. And at that time, this is 03, 02, Eminem's at his height. You know, like he is pill popping Eminem. He is going crazy. Like, and he is one of the more like, the more popular rappers at that time. So I picked that record for some reason. And I remember I said, you think all I do is stand here and feel my nuts. Like, I remember letting that slip, and my mic got cut right there. And at that point, everybody started booing. And I didn't know if they were booing at me or if they were booing at the teacher. Never really got a concrete response, you know, or like an answer. like as to who they were booing or what the situation was. But I remember being like, I'm so happy I did this shit. You know, like nobody told me to do it. Nobody said that this is something you should do. I want to see you do it. You know what I mean? This came from within. But I'm so happy I gave myself that chance and stepping into the unknown. And I don't think I was going to build my confidence in rapping or in hip hop or in music if I didn't take these risks. If I didn't take this like moment to like really step in the fire and like see what the fuck happened. And I think there's something to say there is that like if we're going to talk about self-confidence, it doesn't, or self-esteem, all of this, like to a certain degree you're right, like it does matter like how people treat you, like your parents treat you and like how your teachers treat you and your friends and cousins and all that kind of stuff. Get it? But this other side about how much you can impact on the world. Right. And what you can take on.
Yeah, which parts of because which part of it do you embrace yourself?
Right. Which part of life do you embrace? Yeah. What do you want to do in this life? Like what part makes you want to like, what part makes you excited? You know, search for that. And I think like people do call that passion. Right. But I just think that there's a genuine interest you should take in something. And so right. That part, like, I think that's where like you inherently build, right, your confidence. Whether or not it works for you, I think you'll learn early on if this is for you or not. But within the first couple attempts, you'll be like, nah. And I've been with like, you know, I've mixed and mastered for artists that churn out like every year, and then other people who have tried it and were like, this ain't for me, man. Like I like music, I love playing, but you know, I'll just stick to the live performances. Like I don't like recording. Or like I don't like the whole like mix process and trying to like figure out this song. And you know, it's cool, like, but you got to try it, right? And it's also important not to take everything as a mark to your confidence or to your abilities. Some things just aren't the fit for you. And I think it's important not to let your self-esteem be damaged or your confidence be damaged by things that just might not be for you.
It's like you just gotta find what is for you, you know.
It's tough.
One of the great ways to like have a good healthy self-esteem is to have goals to chase, you know, like the human nature has this need to like have progress in life and not feel like stuck in one place.
Sure. You know? See things get better. See things improve. There's little progress, even if it's tiny. Human mentality needs that. We need that little step. Yep. Every soul. In every spot or any place in life.
Right. Absolutely. It's like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Like psychology 101, right? Yeah. Like it's one of the first things is physiological needs like air, water, food. You need that to be alive. Safety needs is the next level. Personal security, resources, health, like property, somewhere to live, like a roof over your head. And then the next level is love and belonging, like friendship, family, sense of connection. It's a need, human need. So, and then the next one is esteem, self-esteem, status, respect. That's another need. Freedom. And then the final need is self-actualization, like desire to become the most, the best version of yourself. Wow. So if like somebody's like kind of chasing that to like improve on themselves, like every day, have a goal, have a few projects to work on. Like it doesn't have to be like, everybody doesn't have to be like laser focused on goals and goal oriented, but like people should have projects, things that they do like on a continuous basis, like
agree.
My parents, for example, they're retired now, they don't, they need projects all the time. Like for my mom, it's gardening, and like just doing that project on a continuous basis, like gives her so much joy.
Something to maintain, something to like watch grow.
Yeah, it's a human need.
Agreed.
And it connects with that self-esteem like so directly, like you feel like you're
for sure
doing something, and then that, just feeds into your human need, so it's interesting. And like, I think like, we all have this different couple sides to us. Like we have we have the self-love in us, and we have the like self-judgment, in a way sometimes where it's like it could be either or, but it's just like how do we this actually, I could say it in a better way. It reminds me of a story, man.
Okay.
This is like a myth type of story, or like a folklore type of story. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So like there's this story that my uncle used to tell me.
Okay.
And like I never used to really understand it before, but like the more I think about it as an adult, I really get it now,
Okay.
So it's a story of a tribe. And in the ancient times, there was a tribe, and they used to go hunting with wolves. That was their thing, And so like this one time, this tribe had like a couple of cubs, like a wolf pups, who was born, two of them. And so the chief of the tribe gave those two pups to his two sons. These two sons were two completely different sons. All right. So one of them, he was like kind of fueled by anger, jealousy, envy of the other son,
Okay.
And he just grew up in a different way. His mentality was, like that. He had one of the pups, and the other son had the other pup. So the son who had son who was like had an angry mentality, he raised the pup. He named him Ember. He named him Ember, like the fire in him,
Right.
that wolf pup.
Right.
And he would like train him in a way where it's like if he did any mistakes, he would like really like punish him, so that the Ember would like remember the mistakes and make sure they never do that again.
Right.
Because when they go hunting, like they need a wolf who's like
Right.
ready to
About their
pounce.
business.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other pup went to the other son, who was fueled by joy and happiness, and he was like very he was an empath.
Very loving.
Yeah, very loving. And so he named his pup Joy, and he grew him, raised him with like mentality of like self-love. Like if you made a mistake, if that pup made a mistake, he would make him understand the mistake that he did, and like not make him feel bad for it. Like it's cool. Like you made a mistake, next time just don't do it.
Right.
And so that pup was like filled with joy, and it gave him an edge, because when they would go hunting, because he's full of joy, he could last longer, in the trips, and like really have fun with the day. The other Ember, he would also be useful because of his like competitive nature. He could go longer because he had the hunger. Like he really wanted to prove himself, make sure he never makes any mistakes. He's still out there.
Yeah.
So they both had the good feature. It was winning features for both of them.
Right.
But as these pups grew, they became like full-grown adults, and they were like hunting and doing the thing. But like wolves, when they come of age, they start getting competitive, and so they started like butting heads. They started battling each other. They would like argue, like howl at each other.
Scuffle.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And then one day, the grandson of the chief like wakes up in the morning, and the wolves are nowhere to be seen, and they were like, "Oh shit, where did he go?"
Right.
They suddenly started hearing howling and like barking and like something happening. So they all ran to the noises, and saw these two wolves, Ember and Joy. They were fighting each other, and they were just like going at each other at this point.
Okay.
It was like hours that they've been doing this. Nobody knew in the tribe.
When it started. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the grandson asked the chief, like, who do you think is gonna win? The chief's like, the one who's fed the most. So the one who ate more would be more healthy, would attack the other one. But what it really means is like, we all have these two wolves in us. We all have a side of us that's like fueled by anger and jealousy. Like sometimes when we get defeated or somebody else defeats us, we choose an enemy, and sometimes it's useful. Like,
100%.
Fuck that guy, I'm gonna get him.
Ooh,
like
what?
It's useful,
Yes. Yes.
And then the other side of us, like, self-love, like not judging ourselves when we do get defeated, not feeling bad, like
There's both of them.
Yeah, not complaining, and like just being more understanding and empath,
Right. Not sulking.
Yeah, not sulking. But the one that wins is the one that's fed more. Like if we like feed our self-love every day, like remind ourselves, like stack our wins on one side always, and try to remind ourselves like who we really are, like
Sure.
we're actually capable of so much. We've been through so much.
Right.
It's important to remind ourselves every day and feed that side and just keep like increasing the self-love, because
Agreed.
life can get hard, and self-esteem can can take a hit sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like there are ups
yeah.
and downs, and it sometimes can get a hit, and you can start questioning yourself, the decisions you've made,
Sure.
But those are the times to remind ourselves, like, this is when we have to do self-love. Like we have to
Right.
be understanding
Right.
of like
Not trip too hard.
not trip too hard.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow. Great story though. I guess yeah, like it does take I guess life experience to understand the meaning of that story.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it ends at whoever's fed the most, you're thinking like, really? Like there's nothing more to this story? But then you're like the point isn't to like have one over the other.
Right.
The point is that you have to understand that both are
Mhm.
advantageous.
Yeah. It just ends on a cliffhanger, the story.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what life is. Like it's a little bit of both. You're gonna have
Right.
it, but it's like we have to feed that self-love side. It's like and self-esteem and ego is so related. I learned this. I didn't know this until like recently. I saw like a podcast by Jay Shetty, and he was talking about like how self-esteem and ego is connected.
They're like right next to each other.
Mhm, right next to each other. And it's like ego wants to be the best at everything, like wants you to feel like, man, you're the best.
Right.
And it wants you to be the best when you're doing good, and when it's good times. It's like the ego wants to tell you like you're the best, no one else is as good as you.
That's
And
where,
like
yeah.
that's why they don't get you.
Yeah.
Because you're so awesome. They don't
Yeah.
fucking get you. But then when you're doing bad, the ego wants to be the best in that best of the bottom
Yeah.
as well, and be like, you're doing so bad. Like you're not doing good at all. Like life
Yeah.
sucks. Look at all these other people. They're doing
Right.
so good. You just so bad.
Wow. Okay. So
The
ego
ego
can
wants
be
to like
just
top.
polar opposites.
Yeah, wants to do that. And so that's why like it's so directly connected to like one's self-esteem,
Sure.
So if you can keep that ego at check,
Yeah.
your self-esteem will probably be at check.
Right. Right. And it won't like self-esteem has more of a what do you call it? A temperate
A
sort of-
balance,
a
yeah,
balanced
temperate.
connotation.
Temperate's a great word.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like where you don't you're not one way or the other.
Yeah.
I just know myself and I'm here.
Yeah. And I accept who I am.
Right.
And that then feeds into self-confidence and like makes you feel like I'm capable of doing this. Whatever I'm trying to do, I'm capable of it. That's a block that most people have, is like most people don't want to dream, because
Yeah.
like if you dream, then you have to ask, am I capable of this?
No, but yeah,
And then you're like, oh no, I don't think I'm capable of this.
you have to
And
risk
then-
failure.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't up to that.
No one wants to ask that question.
Yeah.
It's just like that's a too difficult question to ask, and
Mm.
unless you're pushed into it, like unless somebody asks you, or
Yeah.
unless you're like really hitting it hard with your dreams, and then you're questioning yourself.
Right,
Like,
that's different.
Other than that, these thoughts don't even come to people's minds. Like,
Right.
why would I dream so big? Fuck that.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm just trying to kick it,
Yeah.
which is why I chose to follow my passion, because I wanted to be happy. And I figured if I'm happy, I'll be happy around other folks.
Right.
Make them happy.
Absolutely.
We'll all be happy together.
Mhm.
And I think, yeah, things like that, like, yeah, so you feel worth, you feel value.
Mm-hmm. It's a good podcast today. I think
Yeah,
we discussed
bro.
some good stuff, some deep stuff. We'll go deeper into this stuff later.
Yeah, always touch
obviously,
back.
share some stories.
For sure.
But yeah, it was fun. It was fun hearing some of these old stories.
Yeah, man, always is.
Hell yeah, bro. All right,
All
man.
right,
Have a
peace.